You know, cursed objects are a funny thing. And by funny, I mean terrifying because just looking at them, not to mention touching, feels forbidden. Alleged to bring bad luck, poverty, illness, or even death, cursed objects have always attracted people who enjoy the spooky side of life. Many things have been reported to be possessed by evil spirits, ghosts, paranormal beings, and other supernatural entities. And the owners of these objects have often claimed to have seen frightful sights and experienced creepy things. In fact, many owners of these cursed objects have even died under very bizarre circumstances. Hello and welcome to another video from us, in which we are going to tell you about the most cursed objects around the world. But before we continue, you should consider first before watching this video, as in, you should know what you're getting into, because we have warned you these objects are going to haunt you in your dreams. Here are 10 of the creepiest cursed objects that actually exist. Number 10. The Crying Boy Painting. The painting of the Crying Boy was created by artist Giovanni Bragolin and became famous quickly. It was then mass-produced and was found in many homes across Britain. However, soon many of these homes mysteriously caught fire. But the most disturbing part of the entire incident was that no matter how severe the fire was, the painting remained absolutely fine. In 1985, a fireman claimed to have found these prints in multiple houses destroyed by fire, but surprisingly, the prints found in the burned-down houses were untouched. Some regarded these fires as mere coincidences, but the undamaged paintings have not been bagged by a valid explanation till date. Following these bizarre incidents, a story popped up that the original painting was of an orphan boy whose home had burned down. Number 9. The Dybbuk Box. This box might not look like much, but it has left death and terror in its wake. Attained by paranormal fanatic Zach Bagans in 2017, this well-known wine box is allegedly possessed by a Dybbuk, which in Jewish mythology is a malicious and possessing demon. The item, which inspired the 2012 horror film The Possession, gained attention when it was auctioned on eBay in 2001 by a man who claims he bought it at an estate sale, and its original owner was a survivor of the Holocaust. The man reported encountering strange activity occurring when the box was around, including horrific nightmares. He claimed to have been haunted by a woman in his dreams and often woke up with actual scars and scratches. The object was made even more famous in 2018 when singer Post Malone touched it on an episode of Ghost Adventures and has reportedly been dealing with the consequences ever since. Number 8. The Dark Mirror. The world's only mobile museum of the unexplained holds this mysterious reflector, which seems to literally take on a life of its own. The museum obtained it from the original owner who purchased it while attending a psychic fair in the Columbus area. That same owner said they were struck with very upsetting visions when gazing into the mirror's dark reflection. According to the museum, visitors also claim to have also reported uncomfortable sightings, such as their own corpse, when gazing into the reflective glass. Number 7. A. Phone number. Whether you consider this an object or not is up to you, but it was just too wild to leave off this list. In short, several people who had the phone number 08888888888 have died in pretty intense fashions. The number's first holder, former Mobitel CEO Vladimir Grashnov, died of cancer at just 48 in 2001. The number was then passed to a Bulgarian mob boss who was shot and killed by an assassin in 2003. After that, the number became businessman Konstantin Dishleves until he was fatally shot outside of a restaurant in 2005. The number was suspended after that, and mobile phone company Mobitel did not provide details as to why. Number 6. Thomas Busby Chair. This wooden furniture, popularly known as Busby's stoop chair, is cursed by the soul of Thomas Busby, who was known to murder people viciously. Before getting hanged for his crimes, he requested to have a meal in his favorite local pub. Upon finishing his meal, he stood and said, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit on my chair." And ever since then, 63 people who dared to sit on the chair met untimely and terrifying deaths. Later, the pub's owner gave the chair to the Thirsk Museum in the United Kingdom, where it is currently placed 1.5 meters above the ground to prevent any additional deaths. Number 5. The Hope Diamond. It's one of the most famous diamonds in the world, so maybe this isn't so surprising. Although many have speculated that reports of a curse are simple efforts to increase the object's air of mystery. Let's indulge a bit, shall we? In its earliest form, the diamond, which was most likely cut from a mine in India, is said to have been stolen from a statue. The thief was subjected to an extremely unfortunate death. This kicked off what seemed to be a string of upsetting fates for many of the individuals who owned or even touched it over the years. Jacques Collet died by suicide. Princess de Lamballe was killed in a massacre in the French Revolution. And merchant Jean Le Tavernier was mauled by wild dogs, just to name a few. You can breathe a sigh of relief, though, because since Harry Winston donated the diamond to the Smithsonian in 1958, the alleged curse seems to have abated. Number 4. The Anguished Man. We're not quite sure why anyone would choose to keep a creepy painting like this in their home, especially since the painting ends up haunting anyone who owns it. Fascinated by the charm of the Anguished Man painting, Sean Robinson inherited the painting from his grandmother and decided to hang the painting on the wall of his house. Soon after that, Sean and his family started experiencing paranormal events like cracking of the doors in the middle of the night and sudden blood-curdling screams from nowhere. Sean's wife decided to investigate the origin of the painting and found that the artist who painted the painting committed suicide, and before doing that, he mixed his own blood with the paint that he used in making the painting. The grandma claimed she could hear and sobbing whenever she hung the painting up, and she also saw a shadow of a man hovering around the corners of the house. Her grandson still has the painting and reports similar eerie occurrences when it's hung up. Number 3. The Annabelle Doll. The doll's name comes from the alleged girl who possesses it. In the early 1970s, a young college student named Donna gave the doll to Ed and Lorraine Warren, a now famous pair of paranormal investigators. Believe it or not, this run-of-the-mill Raggedy Ann doll was the inspiration of multiple horror movies. Originally, Donna received the doll as a gift from her mother, who purchased it at an antique shop. Over time, Donna and her roommate noticed that the doll had a tendency to move, be it from locations throughout the apartment or positions, upright, legs crossed, etc. Shortly after, the doll started terrorizing the daughter and her friends almost daily. According to the girls, the doll stood up on its own, moved from place to place without anyone touching it, and left creepy notes and threats on parchment paper, a kind of paper none of the girls owned. Later, after these realizations, things escalated. Donna would find notes reading "help" in the apartment, and one night even came home to Annabelle repositioned and covered in a red substance. Number 2. The Hands Resist Him. The Hand Resist Him painting by artist Bill Stoneham is probably one of the most haunted pieces of art. Okay, we can all agree this painting is pretty creepy in and of itself. It appears to be of a little boy and girl, except the girl is a doll. While her eyes are creepy enough, the real horror is that there are dozens of hands clawing at the window behind the boy and girl. The owner of the painting decided to sell it on eBay, warning potential buyers that it was cursed. He reported that the boy and girl often moved around in the painting, sometimes leaving it all together to walk around in the real world. The description of the painting made the eBay listing go viral, and a museum in Grand Rapids, Michigan bought the painting. Within a year, the museum owner and the critic of the piece died. According to the artist, this painting is a representation of the doorway that connects our world with the world of the spirits. Number 1. The Woman from Lem. This statue is also known as the Goddess of Death, as everyone who owns it seems to die shortly after. The artifact was crafted around 3500 BC and found in Cyprus in 1878, and of the families it's belonged to over the generations, each one has been torn apart by death. The statue was stolen when the British invaded Cyprus. Lord Elephant decided to claim the statue, but if he knew what it had in store for him, he would have left it in its place. Within 6 months he was dead, as well as 6 members of his family. The next owner was Ivor Minucci. He and his entire family died within 4 years of owning the statue. The next buyer, Sir Alan Beaverbrook, suffered the same fate as the previous owners, as well as his wife and 2 daughters. He had a son who survived, but the son was so afraid of the statue, he donated it to the Royal Museum in Scotland. The museum's curator died less than a year after putting the statue on display. With this, we conclude our video today. Let us know about your experiences with any such objects in the comments section. Also, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you are updated with everything we upload. Thanks for tuning in.